25 Most Bizarre Sand Sculptures. Dubbed Muse, this piece of pearly white sand art is supposed to enrapture and inspire. The only thing I'm thinking is, dang, she looks an awful lot like the Starbucks chick. I dig that hair though. I could take all kinds of naps in that hair. Welcome to Casa del Sand, an all-inclusive resort where each resident must sign a waiver in order to enter the highly collapsible building. Entirely made of sand, this masterpiece of an architectural feat could be the perfect getaway, but could just as easily be your tomb. Someone tell Barbie to reconsider this death trap. It's one wave away from being porridge. When in doubt, make Gandhi, emerging from the earth like a sand crab after a big wave at the Jersey Shore, unblinkingly looking upward into the hope of freedom above his sculpture. Though the size is being exaggerated by perspective using what I like to refer to as the Leaning Tower of Pisa trick, this drip castle has some serious structural integrity. No, little goatee man isn't supporting it. He's actually a number of paces back in the distance while we're down close and low with this gravity-defying creation. Brilliant. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick, follow the yellow brick, follow... Yes, we get it already. Geez. Dorothy and friends take a load off on their extensive journey to Oz. If the sculptor was as lazy, we'd probably be looking at an overturned plastic bucket turret instead of this masterpiece. These skeleton warriors look super rapey. You can see it, right? They're saying something lewd and angry when you don't smile back. I want rain to wash away their smugness. Just wash it all away. This would bring me so much peace in passing by. The concentration, the balance, the gentle birthmark upon the chin of the smooth-faced man all combined together to create a masterpiece that would calm down the Buddha. I need a desk version of this or something. We apparently needed this one because there just aren't enough lards on the beach already. So this guy has a need for a date, so he builds her out of sand. He's considerate and realizes the sun is shining bright, so he gives her sunglasses. She's totally good without a top though, right? A little fishy, no? In this depiction of the alternate ending of The Pagemaster, starring a young 1994 pre-terrifying Macaulay Culkin, where instead of being swallowed whole by the fire-breathing dragon from the adventure section of the library and being inspired to use the books to escape and conquer his fear, we see the dragon instead taking a big old bite of the kid's head and upper torso and about to leave him a mangled corpse. He'll huff, and he'll puff, and he'll haunt your nightmares forever. Wasn't this the guy that tried to convince us that it's better to shine people into doing what we want rather than blow them away? This guy's more flip-flop than Donald Trump, and he's at the beach! Ah, a good animal pun. I feel like Noah and George Orwell really came together over this one up by the big trough on the sugar candy mountain in the sky. There's so much animal glory happening here, from the sheep captain to the peg-legged one to the chunky cheek piggy popping his head out the window. Just gorgeous. Homer Simpson enjoying some good American rest and relaxation on the beach in his home with his dog and a big bottle of some kind of poison, apparently, and also a fire. How is there and why is there a fire? The Simpsons were never classy enough for a fireplace. This feels like some kind of John Lennon song gone wrong. I can just see him showing up to this and saying, "This is so not what I imagined. This is not the way." Peaceful sand art sculpture? Wrong. This is some Tim Burton-style dark and twisty madness. In this dystopian piece, dolphins and ostriches have combined to create the most suicidal of creatures. Just look as they dive their own heads into the sand, seeking slow and painful suffocation. The misery will soon be over for our little flopper down left, who's resigning himself to death. The wonderful thing about this sand struggle is that an artist gazed upon the flecks of sand, waiting for his muse to call upon him, and sought out the perfect image to bring to life. The image that came was this family working all together to hump a giant turnip out of the ground. You know what they say, a turn down for what? Okay, here's the struggle with an extremely realistic gold-looking sand treasure chest. This thing is destined to have a horde of drunken college students tearing into it with their teeth looking for a doubloon to keep Sally Mae at bay. Little do they know, Sally Mae only accepts alternative payment in the form of blood, sweat, tears, and eternal souls. Do you ever feel like the weight of the world is crushing you into the dusty earth underneath? Something tells me the artist may also be familiar with this sensation. I don't know what, but something. I love the glare in his eye, gazing up into his tormentor. It's as if he knows this person who's crushing him, maybe even trusted them. But today, all past mistakes come to light in a final moment. Oh dear. This little lady is imprisoned quite unhappily with her dying bouquet of hope. Look closely, and you can see she's trapped by fear, grief, neglect, abuse, corruption, crime. Plenty of other dark and twisty things that apparently all sand sculpturists are thinking about all the time. To be honest, the most disturbing thing about this sand scare isn't the brain, it's the fingers. So smooth. Are they fingers at all? Or a coalition of MTV astronauts guarding their big giant brain overlord? Either way, they're coming towards us and we're scared. This sculpture is what happens if a set of Russian dolls is commissioned by Satan. The sign that's turned away from us most likely reads, "The Dark Lord of the Underworld thanks you for your numerous and increasingly agonizing sacrifices." Well, at least she doesn't need to share the shoe with a gaggle of screaming children, as I always imagined. Clearly there's only room for one in this shoe, and that one has a cat. And of course a crazy cat lady lives in a shoe. It's all starting to make sense now. Hey, look, more poison. How can you tell what's keeping the artist awake? Trick question. Sand. The artist had to stay up all night long to create this little message of an unsatisfied marriage. Of course, we already knew you were dissatisfied because you're staying up all night long to make eerily ornate sand sculptures. This sculpture took 70 sculptors 9 weeks to create. They used 35,000 tons of sand, and the project spanned the size of over 5 soccer fields. This sandy majesty was available for viewing in Kuwait in 2014 as a part of the Sand Sculpture Company and was commissioned by the proud-to-be Kuwaiti organization. I honestly can't think of anything that could or would make me more proud than a 35,000-ton sand sculpture of stuff being crushed by a pointy-eared devil guy.
And now for number 1. But first, be sure to subscribe for new videos every day.
Sandcastleception. It's a man pondering life in the hand of a man pondering life, holding a man pondering life in his hand. It never stops. It never begins. This is the sand sculpture that has been here since the